Hello everyone. Give me a mic check. Let me move that. Can you hear me okay, everyone? And can you see me? Good morning, Joy. Let me add you to the broadcast. Good morning, Leanne. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me just turn the music down a little bit. I'm not plumbed in. Oh, you like the music? It is Pure Energy Go's latest release. It's called Mind Body Beat 6, A Passage to Goa, is it? Or Trip to Goa? Anyway, dreaming of Goa. Just give me 1 minute because I've just noticed something dreadful. Haven't got me coffee. Do you like my cup? It's oh God, I can't tell you what I've just seen. Right. Sorry. Loud and clear. Oh God. Yeah, and I was about to say I've got codes for Pure Energy Go, so you can get 50% off with the code GIFT, but it doesn't apply to this mix. GIFT, GIFT, 50% off. And then I've got one for if you're new, £5 off. And I've got one that if you're not new and you're not buying the older stuff, you want to buy this one, 15% off with CB10, as in CB15, 15% off. Oh Lord, I can't tell you what I've just seen. Good morning to Wales. Claire's saying hello to Mel. I just saw a broadcast. Melanie's sending Seasons greetings. I love being able to put all these on the screen. I'm using, in case anyone's interested, something called Ecamm. It's broadcasting software, a bit like StreamYard, a bit like OBS, but it's just for those of us with the Macintosh computers. Newcastle is checking in. Hi, Kim. So I was about to say, do you like me cup? It's Father Christmas. It might be the last day it gets used, I think. Oh, sorry. I should be like, it's just something down here that's making me giggle a bit. I need a coaster. Oh, this is Blackpool. My friend made this. She's a ceramic artist, Colette. She's worked on all sorts of stuff, but glass is her favourite thing. Sheffield is checking in. Is it a Pea Super, Joy, in Sheffield? Because it's Pea Super in Manchester, and I imagine we'll find out in a moment what it's like in Glossop. Cambridge is checking in. Do you know what, Joy? I have sent a distinct message to Ms. Baker to make sure that John has got all his clothes on. I'll be a superstar for you, Kate. Yeah, it is a large mug. And the only thing I don't like about it is it's got a little hole in the bottom. So when you put it in your dishwasher and you get it back out again, it's full of water. So, you know, I have to wash it by hand, like the old days. Mild at the minute. It's pea soup fog, and we've got a little bit of Well, it snowed yesterday, and there's not much of the snow left here. The boss claims she was snowed in Glossop. She couldn't get her car off the drive, so I gave her a job to do. When you're not going out, this is what you need to do. Good morning from Lincoln. And who else is here? Somerset checking in. Right, let's get rid of this timer. Say goodbye to that. And I'm going to turn this off. I don't think you can hear it very much, but I might find it distracting. I was going to do like a big intro and introduce my friend, but it's not this one. This is my if anyone wants a cheap skeleton, get a plastic Halloween one. I'm sure one day I'll be able to take it somewhere and use it for something. It's beautiful weather in Scotland. Excellent. Okay, so listen everyone. We've come for a Q&A with Cherry. Let's get rid of this one as well. You know why you're here. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have a little Q&A with Cherry. I've got 20 questions. You can fire some questions in the comments and I will try to relay them. A lot of people ask the same questions, so I think that's worked quite well because I had a lot. I was like, oh my God, but I managed to condense it down to about 20 questions. So let's bring in the boss. Hopefully, if I've got this right, she'll rock up on my left. There you go. What do you think? Now you know why I was laughing. Let me.
I've got to take it off now.
Oh, that's a shame. Maybe we should. Maybe I'll just switch over while Cherry's getting changed.
It's like being reborn.
Oh, God. Is that John with you? Is John in? And he has got his clothes on because I can see the mirror there. Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate. Oh, she's got a sparkly top on. I've got like the corporate branding on me.
I nearly put it on.
Oh, Cherry.
I nearly did. But I mean, sorry, I couldn't resist that, everybody.
So, Cherry, try and get quite close to your iPad if you can. Is it your iPad you're using?
I am.
Yeah. Just so we can hear you, because I feel like I'm stood like on top of my microphone, and you're sat back. Maybe I should stand. Maybe I should stand back a bit, and then I think it's just there'll be a difference in volume, won't there? Because my mic's just on my desk here.
All right.
Right. So let's dive in straight away with the first question. Are you ready? Has everyone got the cup of tea and the coffee ready? I tried to make a date with my friend today, our friend Scylla, and we both agreed that it was impossible for us to make a date because we didn't know how long this was going to take. Right.
This is true.
So we're going to start with a few technical questions. Well, the first one's a bit technical. See what you think of this. Any exercises you would recommend to a reasonably fit 65-year-old female who has had to cut back on cycling due to right-sided sacroiliac pain, which worsens when they cycle for more than 30 minutes? The pain is of 3 years duration, which started following an acute flare-up, which was treated with physio. They'd like to cycle more again. What do you think of that, Cherry? Over to you.
It was a funny one because I was looking at these last night, and I think first and foremost, I'm not a physio. I'm a Pilates teacher, and yes, I specialise a lot in rehabilitation, but I'm not a physio. So I think first and foremost, this person should really be trying to work with a physio so that the person that's asked the question can liaise with a physio to find out what exercise is the best for that person. So I am answering this within a limited capacity. It's a shame we've not got Tracy. I personally feel avoid doing anything that excessively uses one leg, and look at doing pelvic stability. So things like a knee drop would be fabulous, but anything that increases any symptoms, avoid it. I have put involves some standing pelvic stability, not just pelvic stability on the floor. It needs to be functional. So look at squats and eventually taking it into a split squat if it doesn't increase any of her symptoms. Looking at a shoulder bridge more in a plank position rather than with a tilt. What else have I said? Looking at working posterior sling systems and oblique sling systems. So just do a little bit of research and look at what you can do to challenge her posterior and her oblique sling systems, particularly at the anterior oblique sling system. But do try and find a physio that supports you as an exercise teacher and work together to find out what she can and can't do. I know this is a little bit defeatist, but it might be that if she can cycle for 30 minutes without pain, that she looks at doing more 30 minutes if that works. It might just be that there's certain things that she can't do. We could talk a lot more about looking at her feet. We could talk a lot more about looking at whether she's got a leg length difference or whether she's got a twist in her pelvis. But as a Pilates teacher, I stop there and I would be passing on to somebody who is more medically qualified. So I don't know if that makes sense. I feel I've had to give a limited answer and I've tried to do what I can do.
Super, thank you for that. Go back to me. Isn't it good how I can switch between one and the other? This is what I was trying to do the other day when we had our little practice thingamajig, and I was like, I want to change it. A few other people have rocked up, so I can't remember where I was up to last. Here we go. Just add them all in. So question number 2. Are you thinking of converting SpineSafe to level 4 back care qualification? I think also maybe what's the future of SpineSafe, and are you interested in getting involved in level 4 Pilates?
Brilliant question, whoever sent that one, thank you. I was with Trained Academy before, a long time before COVID. We'd been about 12 months in the planning of starting to introduce level 4 Pilates qualification. So we have been in planning for that. And obviously COVID stupid it a little bit. And whilst I'm very keen to bring things online, if it's a course that I've never delivered face to face, I would like the opportunity to do it first before we take it online. So watch this space. So yes, we do intend to convert SpineSafe into level 4 Pilates qualification. And you will have done the majority of the stuff if you've done SpineSafe, but we will modularize it. So we are going to modularize it so people can pick up bits of it rather than having to do it all in one go. Those of you who've done the osteoporosis will be part of that, because with the level 4 Pilates qualification, you can pick, if you pardon the pun, cherry pick certain aspects. You can do pre and postnatal and you can do older adults. But I've got to put my hand on my heart here, everybody. My big gob. If you're going to teach older adult, I believe you should have the level 3 older adult qualification as a minimum. If you are going to teach pre and postnatal, I believe that you should have the level 3 pre and postnatal qualification. I do not believe in amongst the rest of the syllabus, in the time that people are doing level 4, you can give either one of those specialist populations the credit that it deserves. But hey, that's just my opinion. So we particularly have chosen to go down the line of bone health. So those of you who are doing the osteoporosis, you've done stage 1 with me. Sheila is in the process of developing stage 2. They will make part of the SpineSafe qualification. And those people who've already done that, they will be able to sort of tick that off as a module. So yes, we will be putting SpineSafe online. Part of that will be the sciatica is a symptom, not a condition. Again, some of you will have already done that. So yes, we will, but don't ask me when.
Right then. A similar question. What about the diamond? Is Diamond Pilates likely to come online? And will you be bringing it to Bristol or Edinburgh or Cardiff or Manchester? Or, in other words, is Diamond going to go online and will you still take it round the world? Oh, England, Scotland.
Yeah. You've done the Isle of Man. Does that class as in the world, that? Team, what has lockdown brought to us so much and taken so much, but it has brought so much. I don't know if Tracy's watching this because I think she's busy, but I think my days of travelling for 7 hours around the country are done. I'm not saying I will never do it, but I'm not going to be traveling every weekend like I used to do. I think particularly Tracy as well, you know, she'd set off on Friday night at 10 o'clock and arrive somewhere at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think what we will do is in the future, if we're ever allowed to go back face to face properly, we'll use Glossop as our main base and Tracy's studio in Lincoln. So we'll use those two bases. And I'm going to answer this question a little bit in another question that comes up further along. So one, I don't think we'll be traveling, but what we will do is we will put it online. So Diamond Pilates, Tracy has done a lot more training. She's been abroad to do some training. She's done a lot more study in her field as a women's health physio, and she really wants to update the Diamond Pilates. So we'll be doing some sort of a deal for people who have already done Diamond Pilates. And we will be bringing it online. We do hope to still do it face to face, but we definitely will not be travelling the length and breadth of the country. We're both nearly 60. Tracy will kill me for that. So I think that we need to start looking at, you know, solidifying what we do. And we did used to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles, and I think that we may be stopping that. I'm not saying never, because I love my Taunton family and my Cardiff family, so I'm not saying never, and my Clare family, so I'm not saying never. But if you say I'm not going to go to Edinburgh and then go to Bristol, no, we will do basic courses in Glossop, in Lincoln, and so people who want to do it face to face can come to us, but we will also offer it online, we promise. Tracy's in the middle of planning that at the moment.
Cool. I suppose that there could be like a situation where instead of asking people to come to Glossop for 2 days, we might just ask them to come for one shorter day, and the remainder of the content could be delivered online, couldn't it? That
Absolutely.
kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway,
Absolutely.
we've got
Absolutely.
a few more help. Go on.
I think the thing is as well, Julianne, that some people can learn online. I struggle. Some people can learn online, so we'll give people the choice, and it might mean that some people will have to travel, but if they can't travel, hi Liz, at least they'll be able to, hi Louise, at least they'll be able to pick up the course at some point. And you know, technology is wonderful, isn't it, Julianne? Maybe we might start Zooming the courses.
Yeah. And well, look at me putting all these comments on. I'm just beside myself. Right. Back to actual exercises now. Is it possible to overstretch your muscle, if your muscles are tired? And do you develop, say it again. Is it possible to overstretch if your muscles are tired and you do developmental stretches? I work with some triathletes who love their Pilates, but also love extending the stretches and complain of sore muscles constantly.
Right. Big question. Take a deep breath. I'm going to have to sort of bat out a little bit and say it would be great if Tracy was here or Sheila was here, because they know a lot more about athletes training. Tracy from the perspective of being a triathlete, and Sheila worked with very high level swimmers. Guys, we can overdo everything. We can overdo drinking too much water. We can overdo too much strength training. We can overtrain. And if we overtrain, we know that we stop getting results if we overtrain, and we can overstretch. Now, I cannot give a generalization to all of these people because I can't see what they're doing. The thing is to not overdo anything. And personally, whilst we do need to stretch, it's also really important. Let me just go back to this. Right. It's also really important with these triathletes that they have appropriate mobility and have appropriate stability. So I know I sound like I'm contradicting myself. Does that make sense, everybody? That they need to have the appropriate mobility, but stability as well. And you'd think, well, those two contradict each other. No, they don't. Whereas with flexibility, could they possibly be overstretching to the point of damaging the muscle? And we all know that doing developmental stretching pre-performance is not a good idea. So I have to say that I'm being a bit of a politician and saying I don't really know the answer to this. What I am saying is you can overdo anything. And for the person that's asked the question, great question. Are they always sore? I was thinking about this last night. When I was a competitive bodybuilder, there wasn't a day that I wasn't sore. Not one day. One day I wouldn't be able to sit down. The next day I wouldn't be able to lift my arms above my head to dry my hair. So is it the exercise that's causing them to be sore, or is it the stretching that's causing them to be sore? Sorry, my dog is barking. So I don't really know. But what I would say is that they need to work on mobility and stability to improve the performance. And whilst they don't want to be stiff or tight, they do need to make sure that they're not stretching to the point that they're losing the stability, if that makes sense. But I really don't know the answer, as if to overstretching can cause them to ache. DOMS, you can get delayed onset muscle soreness from overtraining, and question mark, could they get it from overstretching? It could be muscle damage if they're overstretching. So in one word, I don't really know. In two, I've given you the best answer that I can. And it might be really interesting. Hi, Tom, if you can. Get Tracy. We'll get Tracy to answer that one as well, because she's a triathlete and she's done a lot of training with triathletes.
Yeah, I think we should do a Q&A with Tracy.
Tracy.
And she's got some time. Somebody asked me in the comments, or asked us in the comments, what platform we're using for the courses. It's LearnDash. Is it Sharon that's asking me? Yeah. It's LearnDash that we're using, Sharon. So I had to send myself to certificate boot camp yesterday because I couldn't get our certificates to work. So I'm not an expert, but that's what we chose to go with. And so far, we like the results.
Julianne, can I just ask you there, from what you've said about LearnDash, because guys, I don't do anything technical, you know that. They've been very supportive, haven't they? You know, you're saying to me that the support network, and you know, if you've had issues, there is something that you can always turn to.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think any software where you pay for it, you get support. With my own website, I've had a problem. I use MemberPress on my own website for my members offering, and something's gone wrong and it's broken. And I just sent MemberPress a message this morning. Like 20 minutes later, they replied. I don't know whether I'll be able to sort it out myself or not, but you know, I've made a step.
Yeah,
small chunks.
The support's good.
Yes. Right. Next, shall we add some more people saying hello to you, Cherry? So I don't want you to miss any of them.
Hi, Nesta. Hi, Sandy. Hi, baby. Oh God, this is so nice. I hope nobody's offended. I've got all the oldies with me. Is there anybody there under 45?
Next question is another one, a sort of exercise question. I have a lady in my class who has had breast reconstruction and will not lie on her belly. I give her standing and kneeling options for extensions. Any more ideas how I can get her to feel confident, e.g. in diamond press where the chest takes little weight? She is fearful of damage. I think we'd want to know how long, wouldn't we? But anyway, I might have taken some of the words out of your mouth there, boss.
I did actually message Sheila Doan on this one, and I haven't had a chance to look to see if she's replied. It's making me laugh because my dinosaur outfit's upset my hairdo and I've been doing the wrong side. Serves me right for wearing a dinosaur. It's a Christmas dinosaur. So folks,
hang on a minute, we've just got to say hello to Dazola because he's claiming to be less than 45.
Is he less than 45? Hi, Daz. Very handsome as well. So team, the question that was asked about the reconstruction, I totally agree with Julianne. It depends on how long ago she's had it, but presumably she's back in class, so there has to have been a little bit of time elapsed because she's back in class. And what I would like to say is that if she's fearful of lying on a tummy, don't make her lie on a tummy. We all know I have so many people who come to classes who are afraid to get to the floor. And they'll say, I can't get to the floor. And what I will say to them is, you can't get to the floor yet. But I will never force them. It's a very gradual coercion. And people that have had breast reconstruction, either because they've had to have it medically or they've had it cosmetically, there is a fear. And I know many of you know our lovely Sheila has unfortunately had a double mastectomy now. Some of you will know her from quite a long time ago, and she has fought it again. She's had a double mastectomy, and so I am going to pass this question on to Sheila, and she can maybe do a little bit of a bit of a blurb about it. However, I feel very strongly that if this lady is frightened of laying on her tummy, don't make her lay on her tummy. And if you put her into a diamond press position where she's already up, fabulous. So if you do feel she could handle that, she could do a diamond press and maintain that thoracic extension without dropping into the shoulders. If she could just hold that position with a diamond press, or even with her arms in what I call a W position, she might be able to just stay in that position and support herself. You're on the right lines doing kneeling and standing work. If she's doing kneeling work when everybody else is on the floor, you can encourage her to use a glute, so she's getting some glute work. Again, work on looking at her posterior and her oblique sling systems. So say, for instance, if you're on the floor, I tried to work this out so you can see me, but I couldn't do it. So say if you're on the floor doing arm to leg. Yes. So say you were lying on the floor doing opposite arm to leg. Yep. Then she could do that on all fours, doing opposite arm to leg. So, okay, she's not getting the extension, but she's getting that passive extension, that neutral position. So try and mimic what they're doing, but don't force her. She could do kneeling work. She could do shoulder retraction. She could use bands. So you're on the right lines of doing that sort of work. Look at doing rotational work. So she's getting some extension and rotation. Do some where you're allowing the body to move. So you're working through those sling systems, but also looking at doing some rotation where the pelvis is fixed, as long as she's not got osteoporosis, it doesn't bother her back. So looking at doing some rotational work with the pelvis, not being encouraged to move, but being allowed to move. And look at doing some rotational work where she's fixing the pelvis, and trying to really focus on getting the extension from her thoracic spine rather than just moving from the lumbar. So you can still get some work. 1 minute. I'm very disappointed that the stability ball doesn't match my front room. So you can give a work on a stability ball. So folks, if you are using the stability ball with this lady, I appreciate you might not have a stability ball, or she may not have a stability ball, but you can do stuff where she is taking her boobs away from the ball. So she's on her tummy, but the boobs are not compressed. The boobs are over the ball, and then she can come up into thoracic extension, encourage lumbar extension if she can, without her feeling that she's putting all the weight into her chest. So I don't know if that's answered it or not, and that's definitely what I would do. But you might be saying, well, I haven't got a ball, or she hasn't got a ball, but you could get one. And that's a really nice way of doing extension without her having to put all the weight into her boobs. You know, she's okay doing it, but if she doesn't feel she's okay doing it, I wouldn't force her to. Give her options.
Right, I'm gonna put you one up on the screen now.
Oh, the glasses are coming back on.
Oh, I hope it don't disappear before you've read it.
Right, okay. Hi, Nancy. No, you are definitely along the right lines. You know, it's very early days. You're still, if you're breastfeeding particularly, you've still got a lot of relaxing in your system. And even if you're not, you've still got relaxing in your system. So I would be cautious with overstretching. I think stability is the way to go. Again, looking at nothing where you are specifically overdoing one leg. I really love the knee drop. Some of you might know it as a knee fold. I think that's a great exercise. Tandem stance, maybe not coming into full tandem. Split stance, as long as it doesn't increase any of the symptoms. Looking at good squatting technique, looking at a split squat, as long as she's got the alignment and the stability through the pelvis. So at 12 weeks, yes, get going, girl, you get going, but don't overdo it. Little bits and often. Lots and lots of work on pelvic stability, but also mobility, because if you're really stiff in the lumbar spine from being an extension in pregnancy, it might be that your pelvis can't develop its stability if you've got a massively increased lordosis. Have you got a diastasis? What sort of condition are your abdominals in? Because it might be that you also have to address that as well. So I would go, one little bit won't fix everything. You've got to look at the big picture, but definitely it's not too soon, and start working a little bit on your pelvic stability. Defo.
Cool. So, speaking of diastasis, Natalie, do you know that there's a free lecture on diastasis in our on our learning area? So, I'll point that out in a bit.
Can I just come back to that
Go
point
on, yeah.
diastasis? I've had some lovely comments of a few different people, and a lovely lady called Emma sent me a bit about the diastasis. And what I want people to understand when we do these short things is, you know, like when Tracy did the loaded flexion, when she did sort of the bent over toe touches, we do know that we're not covering everything, but we're just doing a short snapshot of it. And we do know that when Tracy did that, she was specifically talking about older adults. And we do know there's changes in younger people, but we were just focusing on the fact that some exercises for seniors are not good. And that's what we were focusing on. And when I was doing my diastasis, the biggest thing that I was focusing on is it's not just women. So I didn't talk that much about hormones. I didn't talk that much about nutrition, about looking at collagen, about looking at bone broth. There was lots of things that I didn't talk about because I didn't want it to be specifically a postnatal condition. At the time when we did the diastasis, it wasn't long after we'd been able to work in the good old days with people. And I was presented with more men in my classes with diastasis than women. So I know it was just a snapshot, and I know we could do so much more, but it was just an hour. And what I really wanted to discuss with people is that a diastasis is not just a postnatal condition. Women can have diastasis when they've never had a baby. Men can have a diastasis. Children can have a diastasis. Babies can have a diastasis. And that was really the purpose of what we wanted to do. I know we didn't talk about how we could work and how we might repair it. It was just a snapshot.
Cool, thank you. I'm seeing a few comments. I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted by them. Don't be offended. I'll come back to them at the end. Or if not, if we do run out of time, I will copy and paste them and make sure we send them to Cherry, because I think they are great things that people might want. But anyway, next question's dead easy, although I know you might ramble about this, but in short terms, how the heck are you?
Could I rewind? Because I've just read my notes. The lady with the situation not liking to lie on her tummy, and at the moment, guys, my fibroids at the moment, and I'm sure I'm about 7 months pregnant, and it is linking with the next question. I also said if the lady has the opportunity to work on a reformer, you can do extension work on the reformer with the long box, and as my friend Claire Ray says, Bob, boobs over the box. So that would also be an option if in the future she gets the chance to use a reformer. I've got 4 reformers that have been sat there for months. Okay, so let's bring it back to how am I feeling. Sorry, this is not all about me, but I am going to say some of you know that this year in the first lockdown, I really wasn't great. And before lockdown, I thought I was just tired. I thought I was exhausted. I thought wasn't getting on that well, things at home, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought I was tired. I've been working 7 days a week, driving around the country, blah, blah, blah. And so lockdown happened. We pre-filmed all our stuff. I wasn't having to work every day. I wasn't traveling. And I felt like shit. And those of you who know me, never get down, never had a day's depression in my life. And I really felt quite poorly. And I suddenly realised that it was the dreaded menopause. And I've been going through the menopause for about 3.5 years, but I have learned since that some people will go through the menopause but may still have a percentage of hormones. And some people will go through the menopause and have no hormones. Everybody's different. So I've got a good GP, and talking to my GP, she explained that maybe for 3.5 years, I still had some hormones and I was functioning. Yeah, I had a few hot sweats. I had a few mood swings. But I was going to start talking about nipple sensitivity, but I won't. Just came into my head. Well, that had gone anyway. I've just said it now. But sort of things, we're copable, we're okay. And then bang, I had this fatigue like nothing else, this completely overwhelming fatigue. Because before I realised that I wasn't very well, I could work. It was when I wasn't working, I was like a zombie. So I decided to go on HRT. And for me personally, and I know that lots of you can't, so you're going to be wanting to punch me, it made me, within a month, I was a different person again. So I'm not saying this will work for everybody, but it has for me. And I want to point out that any issues I had with pelvic floor, instantly within the first month of taking HRT, gone. So no matter the fact that I was doing my exercises, I was using my gadgets, and I was doing everything that I did, I still had some issues, not bad, but I still had some. And obviously it was hormonal. So if I move on from that, I now feel amazing. And I've written this down. I feel amazing. I feel extremely grateful to so many people for so many different things. I feel so grateful for. I feel very inspired. Look at what we're doing. I have to admit, I'm nothing to do with the technology, but I did manage to press the right buttons, and some of you know that that's quite a big thing for me. Helen Pybus, I wasn't upside down. So I know that Nikki and Julianne hold the breath. Oh my God, she's got a camera in hand. So I feel amazing. I feel grateful. I feel inspired, but I also feel concerned. I feel concerned, and I feel a little bit worried, more concerned than worried. And I feel a bit bored. Do you? Like, I want to plan going on holiday. I want to plan doing things. I want to see my family. I want to have parties. So whilst I feel amazing, I'm grateful, I'm inspired, I am concerned, I'm a little bit worried, I am a bit bored, and I feel a bit older. But in feeling older, don't know about you, half of me loves being older and half of me hates it. So I told you it'd take a while. How are you guys? Are you feeling the same? Is that the sort of same thing that you're feeling?
Yeah, let us know in the comments how you feel, everyone. What your where your head's at. Next question is a business question, I feel. Will you continue to teach online at your own? Will you? Ooh. Basically, are you going to be carrying on with online with your studio clients as well as face to face? We're talking about this actually, both of us, about the flip flop situation. I think we all need to prepare for. You're in tier 4, now you're in tier 2. Now you're in tier 3, what it means, what your strategy is for each tier, how you're going to deal with it. So over to you, boss. How is the Pilates studio planning?
Now, I called Julianne the wise one, and she's a very wise lady. And I think one of the biggest things that Julianne and I talked about the other day is to be prepared, as we've called it the flip-flop, didn't we, Julianne? We called it flip-flop, So it might be that we're going, okay, tomorrow, they've said next week we can go back face-to-face. So I think we're planning on being able to, we do 3 things. We have got face-to-face when we can. We have got pre-recorded online, which I know some of you guys have bought. Thank you. That really kept me and John in our house over the first lockdown. Thank you so much. So the VIP, which we do with our clients, it's pre-recorded. They get that sent that on a weekly basis. I know you guys that have bought it have got the whole thing now forever. And we've got chair-based, level 1, level 2, level 2, level 3, bits of fitness in there, bits of sort of 15-minute tasters, etc. So we have got the online, and we, this time in the second lockdown, have started doing Zoom. Sheila Dawn kept pushing me, and we've done it, and I love it. But I have to admit that last night we've been doing some free classes, and just for our members between Christmas and New Year, because technically our term is over. And I had quite a lot of people in the class last night. By a lot, I mean about 16. And I really struggled to see them all on Zoom. So it's made me realise, that you do, even though I think I'm quite good, I really struggle to keep my eye on everybody. So when we do go back face to face, we will be still doing specific Zoom classes. So both in Marple and in Glossop, we have a lot of people who've said, I'm not going to come back. Not until I know I can come back safely. I'm not leaving the house. So we will still be doing specific Zoom classes for those people. And we have got another 12 weeks VIP stuff recorded. So we will be still having some people doing it online. And just say the world goes back to normal and we can go back to face to face. I think we will still do some online training, and we will still do some Zoom. So it's opened up a whole new world, really, hasn't it? We can reach people in many different situations, but I still don't feel it's the same as seeing them, and one day might we be able to touch and feel, but seeing them is such an important, and the feedback that they can give you. But yes, if the world goes back to normal tomorrow, I think we will still have an online presence. I do.
Oh, thank you. Actually, the person who asked that did also say about online training, and saying that it's given them an opportunity to learn without having to travel, etc. But so yes, we are committed to
Yes.
continuing the online training that we've offered, because that's my job.
And
yes.
backing up what Julianne's saying is, Tracy is, as we speak, she is ready to go with the Pilates and osteoarthritis. And she said the other day, so she's watching this, that she would like to do the first one via Zoom, because she wants to get interaction and listen to what feedback that people are giving her. So yes, Tracy's ready to go with that. She's also looking at her hypermobility. We are questioning HOG2, whether HOG2 will go online or not, because of the neural side of that, and the positioning of the hog. But let's see how we go. Technology is getting better and better. The hog is ready to come out at any minute. Sorry it's taken so long. It is ready to come out any minute. Mummilates will definitely come out. So yes, we are committed to putting more and more online Diamond, but we just want to make sure it's right. And it took us a long time to get LearnDash and decide which way to go. It took us a long time. And I don't know about you, Julianne, and I know Nikki feels this. I'm quite glad in a way that we didn't rush into it, that we've been able to offer a little bit more. I think the LearnDash and the way that the osteoporosis course, it's a little bit better than it would have been if we'd have done it just as a package that people would get an open. I'm pleased we waited.
Cool. Yes. Who inspires you and why?
Are
you
ready?
Notes for this?
Oh gosh. First of all, I've got to say that I can't answer this. Because too many people inspire me for so many different reasons. I'm going to fire this back at you. If somebody said the question to you, what would you say? Because my mum, she's long gone, but my mum, even though she's not here, it inspires me to be a better person and a better mum. I'm not sure I ever make it, but I do try. So many people inspire me, so many people. The team that I work with, that we work as a cooperative. We work as a cooperative rather than employees, work as a cooperative. So the people that I work with inspire me. So many people that I've worked with throughout the years, through Modern Pilates, through Pilates Inspiration, through Cherry Baker's Education, so many people have inspired me. But basically, it's you buggers. Because you are the guys that rock up, that keep me inner living. I know people think, well, but I've just got a very normal house, a very normal life. The reason we're in this room is it's the only room that's finished. Well, they are finished. It's just they've not been done for zillions of years. But I had to think, so many people inspire me that I can't mention anybody. Of course, my children inspire me. But the biggest thing, the biggest people that have inspired me, looking at my two main heroes, you know, my sister's my hero. I've got so many people, but the two people that I want to mention are Leslie Mowbray. So everybody's just gone, yes. And again, anybody under maybe 55 is probably going, ooh. But Leslie Mowbray was the head of the YMCA, and she fought to be able to get our industry a properly qualified group of individuals, and brought us about the fitness industry that we have today. But can I say, Leslie's not with us anymore, and she was indeed my hero because of what she did. She was very selfless. She didn't have an ego. I've got an ego. Lots of presenters have got an ego. But Leslie was very passionate about what she did and drove for the goodness of our industry. Many, many years ago, and I remember this distinctly, do you know I'm not big, but I am bigger than a lot of fitness instructors. And this is going back into the day, years and years ago. Good God, I was probably about 9.5 stone, but I can remember feeling quite big. And I went to do a aerobics class at summer camp at Loughborough University, and there were lots of people there that were all training to be aerobic instructors. They were training for 2 weeks, 6 days a week for 2 weeks. Now you go and do it in 2 days. So I'll come to that in a minute. Sorry, I went on my high horse then, didn't I? Sorry, my blood pressure just went up. But I can remember being very unconfident about myself, which is ridiculous, isn't it? That's what I like about getting old. Don't give a shit anymore. Okay, so, but what they did when I'd finished teaching my beginners class, they had to critique me, and they absolutely slated me. And I was bereft because I thought I was quite good, and I was bereft. And Leslie Mowbray came up to me and she said, the people down there were trying to clutch at something. And she said to me, those people down there will never make the instructor that you are. And she gave me the confidence in that nutshell to really feel confident about myself and not what I look like or what anybody else thought. So she inspired me greatly by her passion and just by that one comment to me. And then my other hero is Mary Morris. Mary Morris, who is still around, and she examined me for my RSA ETM course. And when I sat down, she said to me, where do you live? She was in Lichfield. And I said, I live in Glossop, Derbyshire. And she said, would you like to come and work for the YMCA? My answer was, yes, please. So those two people, I wouldn't be doing what I am without those two people. So lots and lots of people inspire me, but those two people are my real heroes.
I've got memories of Mary Morris, actually. What was it called? Something like the Sally and the Mary workout or something, and Sally's like the young one.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Mary. Ethel and Susie. Ethel and Susie workout.
Everybody else shouting that at the screen then, yeah. Ethel and Susie, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I heard you talking about Mary Morris and she was your hero, and I didn't know anything about her, but she was on probably must have been Loughborough, and I went to see her present Ethel and Susie, and it was really enlightening because you look after the Ethels, the Susies can look after themselves.
It's true.
Oh dear, hang on a minute, I just need to share this. There's so many comments coming through. I can't.
Oh, in a good way, Nesta, or a bad way. Helen remembers Mary Morris. Oh, Nicola, were you scared? She was a bit scary. Yeah.
Oh wow, 1986.
See, Jan, I knew we always had history, Jan. See, we were meant to be sisters from another mother. 1986. 1982, I did my original.
Did you?
Yeah, the very original one, yeah.
Wow. Next question is for me. Well, actually, it was for you, and you read it and panicked, and I said, well, maybe I should take this question. In your opinion, which is the best platform for delivering classes where there is a cost to the participants? How do you stop anyone and everyone having access? What are the approximate costs of delivery in terms of platform use and music using PPL free music? Right, I've written some notes. It depends really how much you want to invest. You can do something along the lines of having a membership where people pay you and not spend a lot. So, for instance, you could ask everyone to pay buybacks, put them in a private Facebook group, and teach them there, and there'd be very little cost. Yeah. But obviously, the more people you've got, the harder it becomes to manage payments. So you could set up a payment form. You could use Wufoo forms and collect your payment that way. You could use MemberPress, which I've just mentioned. So, for instance, if you wanted to have a membership section on your WordPress website, it costs about $150 for the MemberPress software, and then I paid a Russian £80 to install it for me, to set it all up and make it work as it should do. So that's the MemberPress thing. In terms of your video content, you could put your videos on YouTube and have them unlisted, which means that they wouldn't be available to anyone to see unless they have the link. But then once they've got the link, then yes, they can share it. So that might not be a good option, but it is free, so you could get going with that. If you did want to protect your video content a little bit more rigorously, you could look at Vimeo. There's 2 membership options: Plus, which is £6 a month. And then there's Pro, which is £16 a month, and that Pro gives you even more tighter controls over what can be shared. So it's a pretty big topic, to be honest, and probably a bit more than I can go into here. But there are lots of options, and it depends how much time and money you want to spend, what you've actually got, where you feel like you're going. So are you just being online for just now until you can get back to your face-to-face, or are you committing to always having an online option as part of your business, which is what I've done here. So I've spent money in my setup, because I know that even when I can teach community classes face-to-face, I want to do stuff in my lounge as well. So I've tried to make that brief, but I did want to mention about Pure Energy Go, because that's what Cherry and I use for our PPL free music. Well, it's not just PPL free, it's license free. Understand the difference, because there is a difference, but again, I won't bore you with that. But if you go to pureenergygo.com, most of their mixes I think are £12, I think, if I remember correctly. At the moment there's 50% off. Did you know there's 50% off up until midnight on New Year's Eve? You use the code GIFT, GIFT, all in capitals, and you get 50% off everything bar the very latest releases. If you want to buy one of the latest releases, I was playing one at the beginning, Mind Body 6, Trip to Goa, what's it called? You can get 15% off with CB15, which is Cherry's code. So CB as in Cherry Baker, 15 as in 15%. So that's what I bought it with yesterday. Or was it the day before? So yeah, Pure Energy Go, Vimeo, MemberPress. There's lots of options, and you should actually get in our group, the Lunch Club, and ask what people are doing. There's loads of different ways of doing it. There's Zoom, of course. You might want to do Zoom, and again, if you've got more people and you want to deliver for longer, you'd have to pay to use Zoom. Or less people, not delivering quite as long a session, you can do it for free. How do we get a PRS license? I'll just add that there. So no, you don't need PRS for any of the Go music. There's probably maybe 2 things that they've put on Go that you need a license for. One was the Halloween mix that people begged for, and one was the Christmas jumpers. They are original artists, so you definitely don't need anything, Kate. So if you're just going to use Pure Energy Go, stop paying PRS, stop paying PPL. You just don't need it anymore. You're license free. Basically, the music that comes out of Go has been specifically created by musicians and DJs with the purpose of handing you the rights. and they don't register on the sort of digital database. So when Facebook hears you playing music, believe it or not, it has a robot that listens and goes, recognise that, and then sends you a warning message or even mutes you. The Motown Mix, if you got a warning message on anything, I didn't even know they had a Motown Mix, so I'm doubting that that's Pure Energy Go, to be honest. That might be Pure Energy. Make sure you understand the difference. But if you do get any warnings, then you should challenge them if it's definitely Go. Not Pure Energy, Pure Energy Go. So Pure Energy's been around for a long time, haven't they, Cherry? We used them when they were on cassette
200
tapes.
years, yeah. I've still got the cassettes. I can't throw them away.
Yeah. All right, so shall we move on to the next question now?
Could I just go back to what you were saying then, Julianne,
Yeah,
as well?
of course you can, yeah.
I know not everybody can afford this, but really look at it. You know, if I had to do the technology, it would not happen. It really wouldn't. And yeah, I turn up. Last night I went to my studio. I couldn't do my online fitness yesterday morning because I'd left everything at the studio and we had terrible snow. And I can do quite a lot in my front room, but I won't do step in my front room because it's on a carpet. It really bothers my knees. So I had to adapt that yesterday. But I went down last night because the snow had started to go. And I went in and somebody else has set the Zoom up for me. I went in, clicked on, and it didn't work. So fortunately, I got onto the phone. My daughter manages the studio. I went, I can't do it. So she sorted it out for me. So I know not everybody's lucky enough to have that backup. However, you might know somebody. How many teenagers have not got a job? Do you know somebody that's really savvy at stuff that you could turn around and say to them, if you help me do this, then I will give you a free membership? Or if it's, you know, one of your kids, somebody that can work out how to do Zoom, how to set it up for you, work out, God, even just before we came on here, John and I had a bit of a domestic because I couldn't get the camera set up and I was nervous. And then it was like, do I use lighting? Do I not use lighting? Should I be, what sort of state does my house look like? I can deal with all that sort of side, but the technical side I can't. So, I have other people helping me with stuff, which is putting some money to them. But also, you know, could you draw in favours? Have you got a neighbour that's had a baby recently that's really good at doing technology that could help you? Reach out and get somebody to help you if you really feel you can't cope with it yourself.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm just laughing at the idea that you were so concerned and then you rocked up in a dinosaur suit.
I couldn't help it. I love my dinosaur suit. My dinosaur suit was because I was trying to get a blow up Santa and they'd sold out. So the next best thing to blow up Santa was a dinosaur.
If I'd known, I had a sort of hint. I should have worn my dinosaur sweatshirt that I've got. But anyway, another time. Next question. Another sort of business question, really. In the current climate, are you actively seeking to recruit new clients to your online classes, or are you concentrating on providing an online service for your existing clients?
Blooming brilliant question. In the first lockdown, we decided we were not reaching out to new people at all because we had pre-recorded the stuff knowing the clients that we'd got. And honestly, we teach a lot of broken people. If you want to keep fit, if you want to do a bit of Pilates, you don't really need the studio Glossop or Marple. But if you've had a hysterectomy, if you've had a hip replacement, if you've got a bad shoulder, you know, then you might need to come to us. So in the first lockdown, we didn't try and attract new people at all. When we went back for that brief time, that brief wonderful time when we went back face to face, we were on our arse, as I'm sure you guys were, because we could only get 8 people in a class and not everybody wanted to come back. So we did have to, if you're still there, Liz and Freya did do quite a bit of Facebook marketing looking for new people. We did specific face-to-face tasters for new people. So we did do a recruitment when we went back live. We did do very well, believe it or not. And then lockdown lockdown came again. So some of those people that we'd recruited have joined us either doing Zoom or online, but some of them didn't feel that they knew what they were doing sufficiently to do that. I would say we had about a 50% take up of the new people. But I have had lots of requests. I've had lots of requests of pregnant people, but I will not let a pregnant person join us. I will need to see them one-to-one, even if the one-to-one's via Zoom. We've had a number of people who have wanted to join our Zoom classes who I've never seen before. Oh, my lovely husband's come in, look, and he's going to make me another brew. Thank you, darling. So those of you who didn't see John naked in the mirror, you must watch it again. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I still laugh at it. Hi, Liz. So in terms of new people, if somebody new wants to come to us, I see them one-to-one via Zoom. You're going to shoot me. I don't charge very much for it. They see me one-to-one via Zoom before I will then let them into a Zoom class with other people. So at the moment, we're not actively encouraging new people. They are finding us. But I think what we're going to have to do in January is look at, if we can't go back face to face, is look at some sort of recruitment for doing a beginner's Pilates on Zoom. But I will want to see the person one-to-one initially. So that's very time consuming, I know. Don't know if that helps. And I think it'd be a great idea, Julianne, if people put what they're doing about.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to know what everyone's doing.
I'd love to know what people are doing.
I've very much sort of sat back and not gone on a massive recruitment campaign. I had very good uptake of my offering over the summer and into the beginning of autumn, but now people have dropped off, so I don't have as many people paying to be part of my online program as I did in the middle of the summer, and I haven't really put a lot of effort, but I feel I should now, because like we said, flip flop. So I need to start thinking about recruiting new faces, because everyone that I'm teaching at the moment, they're either existing local clients, and I've got a couple of people that I used to teach locally but moved out of the area. And then, of course, once they realised that they could come to the class online, doesn't matter that they live in Wales or Spain, they can still, so, you know, that's happened. But yeah, I also definitely need to do something about that.
I've got a chap who joins us on My Fitness, because believe it or not, everybody, I do still do a little bit of fitness. I've got a chap who used to come to my classes. Can you remember, Julianne, in the sports hall at the leisure centre? And he's called Tom. He used to come to classes at the leisure centre, in the sports hall, in the good old days. And we used to have like 100 people doing grapevines. Those were the days. And he now joins me in my Facebook Live fitness group from Spain.
Yeah.
How good's that? And he came back before Christmas, and when he was allowed to come back, he came back and he had some sort of medical thing he had to come back for. And he sent me a bunch of flowers. That was so lovely.
That's super. How many times, if ever, have you thought about giving it all up and trying a different job?
Never.
Right, we'll just move on. Favourite Pilates?
It would be nice to retire, semi-retire. I could only ever semi-retire. I could never fully retire. I have thought it would be nice to be able to afford to semi-retire, but I can honestly say, I know Karen asked us that, never thought about changing my job, never.
What's your favourite Pilates exercise if you had to choose one?
Can I only choose one?
Yeah.
Everybody else, I'm thinking, you think, what's your favourite exercise? Oh, God. I'd have to say a squat, because it's so functional, yes? And it's great for your arse, and it's so good for your core, and it's lifting technique. Because there's no point, is there, lying on the floor doing exercises to strengthen your back and then picking up your 2-year-old badly.
I agree.
Could I have, if you said to me, Cherry, you can't have that one because it's not a Pilates exercise.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. So squat's not really a Pilates exercise. So if I had to choose a Pilates exercise, I would choose a shoulder bridge.
That's what I was, yes.
Did anybody else think shoulder bridge? I think shoulder bridge. Why? Because because you can manipulate the shoulder bridge. You can make it suitable for somebody who's got osteoporosis. You can make it suitable for somebody who's got stenosis. You can make it suitable for somebody that's got a disc bulge. You can make it suitable for somebody who's got sacroiliac joint dysfunction. You can make it really tough for somebody who doesn't have any injuries. You can add weights to it. It's a fantastic exercise.
Yeah, it's the king of all exercises, I think. Hang on a minute. All right, okay. You mentioned having concerns in practicing the clam.
Great question. And I would really like to fire this one back to Tracy. Maybe we could convince Tracy to do something online about the clam. How many of you guys did the clam with Tracy? Was it, if Nikki's there, did we do the clam with Tracy last year at Pilates Celebration, or was it the year before? I think it was not last year. I think it was the year before in Northampton. Did anybody do the clam workshop with Tracy? Jackie, I know you did. If you did, Tracy did an hour looking at the clam.
And that needs really to go online.
It does need to go online, definitely.
It does. Come on.
The only thing is, she would need people, you know, she would need models, I think, to be able to talk about it. I don't know. Let's run it by her. Because she's got her daughters that she sees in a bubble, so maybe she could use her daughters. But one of the biggest things that we've got, we love the clam. The clam's fantastic. I taught the clam last night. It's a brilliant exercise. The reason that we've got a bit of an issue sometimes, and I'm not calling, thank you, darling, I'm not calling any medical professionals at all, but very often people will come to my classes and they'll go, I've been to the physio and they've given me this sheet of exercises and it's got the clam on it. And I'll say, brilliant, good choice. And they'll go, but when I do it, it really hurts me, because very often they're using the wrong muscles. So very often the hip flexor can be really dominant in the clam. And what if they've got a really overactive piriformis? I've had a little bit of ischial bursitis, and it really did. If I do the clam, it does flare that up a little bit. Whereas if I do something like a knee drop or a heel slide or an all fours opposite arm to leg, that doesn't bother it. So it's not that we've got anything against the clam. It's a fantastic exercise. It's just sometimes overprescribed and given to people who are doing it wrong. So I know Rebecca came up with a comment then about the session that Tracy did on the clam on the Spine Safe course. So maybe we could do to get Tracy to do something on that. So I'm not against it. I'm just going, if you've got a client and they've been given it by somebody, I never overrule a medical professional. But I will very often go, well, if you're doing the clam and you're not getting any better, and actually you're getting a bit worse, or it hurts you when you're doing it, let's maybe change the exercise or look at how they're doing the clam.
Yeah, I think the clam is kind of like universally loved exercise. And so maybe there's definitely space for a discussion about, you know, when not.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes.
Moving on. What's your favourite underwear? Who asked that? And I know who asked it. And if I hadn't known their name, I'd have thought they were a weirdo.
Who was it?
I'm not going to say, but I just know it was
Tom Lowe.
No. I think she's here. I think I've seen her commenting. So if she owns up to it, I'll post her name. So do you have a favourite underwear? Maybe that's a question for John.
yeah, maybe it's about. I know what John would definitely tell you if it's say nothing, which is very good. Listen, I thought long and hard about this one. I like a full-length body stocking. A full-length body stocking with some FME platform black PVC shoes. That's my favourite underwear. Because otherwise, guys, what do we wear? We wear a black G-string to go underneath our pants and a sports bra. There's nothing attractive about that, is there? So can I just stop and tell you a little bit of a story?
Go on then.
It'd be just a real quick one. I particularly like my full-length body stocking for the bedroom department. And I once had a little delivery of a few different ones in a box. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but come on, it's me. And when I got home, at the time, there was only my youngest daughter living with us. It was like, she was about 18, 19. And apparently, what had happened was she was having a bath, and I had placed this said box on a shelf outside the bathroom where we keep the towels. Obviously, meant to move it, forgot to move it. So, whilst my daughter was having a bath, her friend had come to see her and was stood next, as you do, stood in the bathroom doorway talking to Enya. And she happened to just open this box and go, Enya, what are these that your mother's got? So my daughter brings it up at any function possible to embarrass me of the story of the body stocking. Well, the other day she came home, she's been living elsewhere, and she came home just before Christmas just to say hi, socially distanced, didn't stay here, but she brought some bags in, and John was moving the bags, and out of the bag fell this sort of like corset thing. So we're so pleased, because now she can never take the mickey out of me or call me ever again, because if she does, we will discuss what fell out of the bag when she came home.
That's really funny.
So whoever asked that question, I hope the answer's not made you feel sick.
Right, I think I might be about to hijack the next question. Are you doing the hog online? The answer is yes. And actually, even Cherry doesn't know this, but it is actually available right now. And I'm going to I'm going to play with my screen sharing, and see if I can show it you. On the left here, that's a muscle man, an anatomical man. But anyway, here we go. This is your hog thing. I just wanted to point out, this is where you sign up for a course. And if you already have, here we go, zoom in. If you already have an account with us, please use the login as opposed to take this course. Let me go back to my camera. I'm going to log in now, and I just want to give you a little show round. So I thought you might like to see what's inside the hog. It's logging in. It's taking its time. Here we go. Right, so if I go back to screen share, now that I've logged in. Oh, look, I've earned a certificate. How exciting. How do I zoom in now? Do you know what? Anyway, that's the description of it there. Tells you what's included in the course. I'm not sure why I'm getting this. That's worrying. But anyway, I don't know why that is. If anyone else goes and looks at this course, let me know whether you get that as well. So these are the different sections. You'll notice this one here, claim your free the hog. Yes, we're giving a free hog away. There's a bit of an introduction. There's a standing workshop, a mat work workshop. There's some standing variations. There's the Hog Teachers Treat class, which some of you might have done already, but we've decided to throw that in as well. And then there's your quiz that you do at the end. And then when you've done the quiz, you get the certificate. So I just thought I'd just give you a little show round of the hog if you're interested. It is actually available right now. So that's the answer to that.
Julia, can I just say about that as well with the hog?
Yeah.
Folks, obviously, yeah, I'm doing a sales pitch, but really this is from my heart. I had to, because we forgot to take pictures, so I had to watch all the filming that we'd done from Tracy, not only while she was doing it, and she was brilliant, but I had to watch because I had to take pictures of each exercise for your little notes manual. You don't have to use the notes manual, but you can. I'm one of these people, I like to write things down. So in doing that, I had to really watch it. And honestly, I mean this hand on heart, it is fantastic. I've done the hog maybe 10 times with Tracy. I've delivered it myself, and I learned so much. Now, I'm not calling any other training organisation. Every training organisation has its own merits, and it's nothing's wrong or right, but some of you might have done some training that didn't do standing work. Did you do training that didn't really talk about gait or pelvic stability, that didn't talk about the involvement of trunk stability? Did you happen to look at exercises in standing? Or maybe you did a course that was a brilliantly fantastic course, but it looked more at the original works of Joseph Pilates. If you did, you might not even want to use the hog, but I cannot tell you how good the hog is. The information that Tracy gives is beyond using the hog. I kept saying to you, didn't I, Julianne, all the time? I kept saying, oh my God, I've just done this bit with Tracy and I've not been doing it right. Or it's really made me think about something completely different beyond the hog. So if you've done the hog, I am right, Julianne, if people have done the hog previously, they can get it cheaper.
Hang on a minute. Let me just.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's £60 if you've already done the training, and
Yes.
there's a form to fill in to pay the £60 and to claim your discounted rate. So Lou, I will come back to the comments and put a link to your form that you need to fill in to claim it.
And I would honestly say, if you have no interest in using the hog, but you've done a Pilates course that didn't really talk to you about standing work, then I would do the hog just for that. And I'm going to, Julianne will shout at me probably now, Nikki will definitely be shouting at me, but I don't think we'll ever put the hog on sale because it's such a valuable course for so many different reasons. You know, it really is.
Yeah, speaking of sale, I've negotiated a New Year's Day sale, and it'll be on VIP Pilates. So if you are thinking of buying osteoporosis or the hog and you're wondering, will there be a sale? The answer is no. But if you are thinking of getting VIP Pilates and you're wondering if there's a sale, the answer is yes. So hold that thought. All right, Jackie wants to do it again as well. Brilliant. Okay. So actually, you have already answered the next question. Will you be doing Mummilates online? I think, did you mention that already? I can't.
I will be doing Mummilates online, and last night I was sat down thinking about this. We are able to do, and this is coming from Trained Academy, this is coming from Active IQ that have spoken to Trained Academy, and apparently we can do education live face-to-face. We are limiting it to.
Well, that's hang on a minute. That's pre-postnatal, not Mummilates.
Oh, sorry, pre-postnatal. Yeah, sorry.
We'll come back to pre-postnatal. Mummilates.
Right. So with pre and postnatal, we're going to do that face-to-face. And normally what I do at the end of doing a pre and postnatal is I then do a Mummilates for people who specifically want to do Pilates, because when I'm doing the pre and postnatal, it's going to cover every discipline. So I can't go into that much detail about Pilates. So Mummilates is sort of like an add-on. So yes, we will be doing it online, but I'm like this, whether to say you've got to do the pre and postnatal before you do Mummilates, because so much of the information obviously has to carry over. But leave that with me, because I haven't thought about that one, and I was having to think about it last night. But maybe we can work something out, because the thing is with Mummilates, it's aimed at people who don't want to teach a specific pregnancy class. They don't want to teach a specific postnatal, but they just want to know what to do if somebody rocks up to class that's pregnant or postnatal. At this moment in time, if you're doing it online, if somebody rocks up that's pregnant and you're not qualified, don't touch them, pass it on to somebody else. I know somebody did talk about that in the group. So yes, Mummilates, it won't be any minute soon though. We've got lots of other stuff in the planning before that.
Which then you mentioned about pre-postnatal and the fact that you're going to be doing it face-to-face, and well, I'll probably take the words out of your mouth. give you a chance to have a rest. So pre-postnatal, we have got a course running with Trained Academy. There's 6 people on it, and it's running under the rules of education, so that's how we're managing to do it, just in case you're wondering how can they do that. So that's one thing. But also, Trained have told us that they're willing to accept a number of people to do that course from a distance. So in other words, you'll be able to do your pre-postnatal, but you won't have to rock up to Glossop. So if you're interested in that, put a comment and I will let you know if you want to do it from a distance. So basically, during the time that Cherry's operating face-to-face, delivering face-to-face in Glossop, the content will be recorded and you'll get all that to watch later. So I hope that sort of
Would
takes the
we,
words
sorry
out.
everybody,
Go on.
sorry everybody, and Julianne might go, that's for another. Would we be able to use a platform like this, Julianne? So, you know, whilst I'm actually delivering the pre and postnatal course, you know, would we,
It'd be Zoom really, because
really?
this you can interview people on this, but I think there's a maximum number of people you can interview, and it's
Okay.
not it's like 3 or 4 or something.
Yes.
It's not a class kind of situation,
Okay.
but yeah, Zoom would be better for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question is, oh well, I could probably answer this one as well. I have the osteoporosis course. Can I only watch it once, or can I access it as many times over, like a video? The answer is yes, you can watch it as many times as you like. Would you like to see inside the osteoporosis course? Shall we have a look at that? Let me just open it up. I am enrolled. Okay, so if we go to share, there we go. If I just bring this over here, that would help a bit, wouldn't it? Even though I can't see my screen anymore. But anyway, as you can see, I've not done any of this, 0% complete. But you get an outline here of what's going on. I would love to draw your attention to this boning up, which is a full professional PowerPoint presentation that someone a lot better than me has designed. Cherry designed the content, a graphic artist has put it all together.
Liz Dolman did that.
Yes, Liz Dolman. She might even be watching this at some point. So this means that you'll be able to deliver your own osteoporosis seminar using these boning up PowerPoints, which they're supplied as PDFs or PowerPoints that you can edit for yourself. You don't have to edit them, but if you've got a PowerPoint and you want to edit it, you can. So we've got 7 lectures. To the first 5, there is a small quiz, and don't be intimidated by our quizzes. They are quite easy to do. I actually passed quiz number 5 yesterday. Then there's a section about Joseph Pilates, but then you've got all this practical stuff, warm up and standing with bands, all fours and kneeling, supine and side lying, prone exercises. Then there's all these older adult sessions, and then page 2, if we move over, you've got your here we go, seated tandem stance, bonus practical sessions, backward chain and transition. Oh, do you know what? Actually, I think they might be a bit out of order. I might have to go and have a look at them. I think they've got a bit muddled up. And then you've got some social media graphics that you can use. I wonder, will it let me open up and show you? There we go. These are yours to download. But anyway, that's just a little look. Let's bring my camera back in. Little look inside osteoporosis. We're nearly there now. We're on question 18. Oh no, actually we've answered 18. There's 2 more questions. Are you still with us? We're on an hour and 25. How did you and John meet?
Real quick. John was going out with somebody who, it was a swimwear designer, and swimwear designers don't get a lot of work, do they, in Stockport? So she moved abroad to Canada. And it was once, so John used to go to Canada once a year to see her, and then she would come to the UK once a year to see John. And it was when, you know, Jane Fonda was really big, and when sort of pop mobility and everybody just started wearing leotards and jumping up and down, and I can remember walking on the bottom and everything. And so his girlfriend came over, and she'd been doing some Keep Fit in Canada, and she'd lost quite a bit of weight. And so she said to him, you've not made facility for me, I need to exercise. And John said he thought that maybe they might have been doing a little bit of different exercise, but she was keen to go to the gym. So he brought her to the gym that I was working at. He brought her to the gym. I took her around the gym as a taster. She joined in an aerobics class with me, which was a real old-fashioned aerobics class, and then went on a sunbed. And in the meantime, after I'd taught the class and she was going on the sunbed and in a shower and everything, I went downstairs and started talking to John, who had been waiting downstairs patiently for probably about 3 hours by this stage. And it was in the days when you could smoke. He was smoking downstairs in a gym. I can see him now. I can tell you what clothes he had on. I can tell you the jumper he had on. I could tell you how he was sat. I can tell you how he held his cigarette. I can tell you what he was doing with his cup of coffee. I can tell you in a minute detail. And I went behind reception and said to the receptionist, because I'd just been in a bad relationship and fallen out with somebody, and I said, now why can't I meet a man like that? That was my words. And apparently, said couple went back home, and it all turned out that she'd been bagging somebody else. So when John found out, that relationship was over. So he then came to the gym that I worked at to meet me, and the rest is history. So if it hadn't have been for her being a Nazi cow, we would have never met.
Amazing. We've got one more question. Actually, what we need to do now, can I do this? There we go, side by side now.
Julianne, can I just add, those of you who've known me for a long time know this, that when I first met John, he kept coming to the gym to meet me again, but nobody told him that I worked on ladies' days. So we kept coming to the gym. So by the time we eventually met each other, he'd lost 11 pounds. Seriously, because he was coming into the kept thinking, well, I'll go in the morning, or I'll go back in the afternoon, well, I'll go back in the evening. And obviously, and then so one day he actually said to a receptionist, excuse me, I met this girl, and I went, oh yeah, she only works on ladies' days. But then I was teaching exercise, and I'd started to do a men's aerobics on Saturday morning. 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, men's aerobics. So this girl behind reception said, oh, you could come and do the men's aerobics, she teaches that. So poor John brought all his friends to do the men's aerobics. I can tell you again, I can tell you what he had on. He had these shorts on, he had a sweatshirt with Marple all on, and when he bent over, he'd got a really big back. Oh, that was it. But also in the first ever men's class that I did, John was, I think he was not the front line, second back, but halfway through the class, we were doing jump jacks and somebody's willy fell out of the shorts. It wasn't John's. I never saw it because I was only 21. I was young and innocent. But apparently, all these guys just fell about laughing, and I didn't know why until afterwards. And because as we were doing jump jacks, somebody's willy fell out.
Amazing. Right, actually, there's one comment that I must answer before I forget. Here we go. Susanna wants to know, how many hours is the osteoporosis course? You take as long as you like over it, Susanna, but there are 4 hours of lectures, right? Can I just say that I asked, like, could we have a 30-minute video and a 30-minute class? And next thing you know, she's recorded 4 hours of lectures, several times telling me it was done, and then another video would arrive. So there are 4 hours of lectures, so it would take you at least that to watch them all. Do take your time. But then there's 13 practical sessions. I wouldn't say it's 13 hours because some of them are just really short snippets. Yeah. But there are 13 practical sessions. I really should add up the minutes on the practical sessions and add that to the description. So yeah, last question, which Cherry doesn't know because it's not on what I sent her. But shall we celebrate?
Oh yes.
We haven't talked about the celebration. Pilates celebration, which we've tried to have several times, and a pandemic has got in the way. We are planning to do the celebration at the end of January, aren't we?
Yep, we are.
It's 30th.
30th.
We just need to get our act together, don't we?
We do. We do. We really need to solve it. We've been a bit scared, haven't we? Because we kept thinking, well, if we plan to do it online and then at the last minute we find out people can, come and do it live. But I think we need to give up on that. I don't think anytime soon we're going to be able to come back and do it live. And if we can come back and do it live, we're not going to be able to have big numbers there, are we really? No. So we are looking at doing the Pilates celebration online live. Yeah. We will be charging, but we're going to be doing it as cheaply as we can do. Is there anything you'd specifically like? I sat down the other day, Julianne, after we'd had the conversation, and wrote down a rough timetable, and I've spoken to quite a few presenters. And we're in two minds, aren't we, Julianne? Because we sort of want it to be local. So we want it to be that the people who are presenting on it will come to us, so that we've got the technology there. So because we talked about this, we'll have several different ways. We'll do it via Zoom, but we'll also be filming it live. We might be looking at doing it on Facebook Live at the same time, so that if one system lets us down, we've got another system. We're talking about having my daughter coming down and professionally filming it. So if all else fails, there'll be a really professional film, because you know what it's like if you do Zoom or Facebook, you might get a bad recording, or you might get this buffering and things. So we're thinking about having it filmed live with good lighting, good sound, etc. It will mean we'll all be socially distanced. We're very used to doing that at the studio with a filming team. But so we are sort of looking at that, and so we want the presenter to be able to come to us, so that we've got it covered, which does limit it. Whereas if we do it where people can use their own, come in and do it in the front room, or doing it in their own studio, it does open it up. But we're a bit scared, aren't we, Julianne, about doing that we might have Tracy from Lincoln, but she says she's got a new internet now, so it might be different. Yeah. So, watch this space. And if there's anything you'd particularly like to do, will you let us know?
Yeah.
Will you let us know on that? I mean, it might be, Julianne, that we ask Tracy if she could do the clam thing.
Yeah,
that might be a good idea. Even though I know some people have done it before. Well, they just don't need to do that one. They could miss that one out.
I definitely think it'd be good. I mean, basically put the 30th, which is a Saturday, in your diary, and give us your feedback. What would you like to see? And things like, would you want to do it on Facebook? Would you prefer to do it on Zoom? You're not bothered? Would you rock up for it? Or would you want to watch it later? How long would you envisage a good length for a session is? I think online shorter sessions work better. Myself personally, I'd be more interested in like sessions that are like 30 and 40 minutes long, and lots of them with lots of different topics. But other people might prefer a deep dive into something. I don't know. You tell us, everyone, what you'd like.
Yeah, I was sort of looking at doing maybe a diastasis friendly class.
Yeah.
So, not talking about how to repair it, not going into the detail like that, but just looking at, if you had somebody with a diastasis rocked up into your class, what could you do? We were also looking at Tracy doing a little bit on a hypermobility again, because when we did that last year, so many people said it was fantastic and that they would even like to do it again. So we've got lots and lots of ideas.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for over 90 minutes now. So I think it's time
to say... Is anybody still there?
Yeah. Hopefully there's still a few people here. Tom, I think, is saying goodbye to us. Chris is saying hello, I think. Short sessions. That's what Donna thinks. So we'll say goodbye. I will go back and look through all the comments for things that you need links for, and any advice we can give you, and anything that you fed back to us, I'll copy and paste it on and send it all to Cherry so she can have a read of it. Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, Julianne, for sorting this out, because you know what it was like. If it was me, I'd be upside down, back to front. You'd be looking at John's bottom or something like that. I hope I haven't disturbed anybody with my brutal honesty.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, everyone. And remember, stay positive and do your very best to test negative.
Oh, I like that. Stay positive and test negative.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep smiling. Bye, darling.